What's up everyone and welcome back to the Rough Reactions. My name is Wolfie and today we're going to be taking a look at this beautiful issue here, Sonic the Hedgehog number 12 of the IDW Sonic series. It's the Ice Cream Man? It's January! Alright, so if you guys have followed this channel before, you know how this works. I basically summarize the story, I tell you what I liked, what I didn't like, and then I give it a score. So, I'm just going to leave this book open right here. This one right here with the cool Metal Sonic artwork. I'm going to lay that right there and leave it open so that way I can reference it as I tell you guys real quick what the story summary is. So you remember how in the last issue it was almost non-stop action as the whole Resistance tried to stop Metal Sonic? Well, this, of course, is the follow-up to that. There's not much action in it. Actually, there's no action in this one at all. But I feel this one makes up for it by having a whole bunch of character... What's the word I'm going to say here? A character dump, if you will, on a lot of these characters. I'm not going to use that word anymore. That's going to grow old very quickly. But it starts us off with Sonic and Tails working on repairing Metal Sonic. That's right, repairing him. You're probably thinking to yourself, now why would they repair Metal Sonic? Well, here's the thing. They repair him, but not really. They get him just enough to the point where he can stand up and kind of move, but not strong enough that he can attack them. And this is a very smart move because, as it turns out, Sonic's like telling Tails, alright, turn Metal Sonic on. And as soon as Metal Sonic wakes up, he immediately goes in for the attack on Sonic. Doesn't work, though, because Metal Sonic is still very much damaged, just enough, or is still very damaged, just repaired enough to function and move and all that. But here's the cool part about this. Sonic isn't malicious about this. You think maybe, based on this cover, you think that they have Metal Sonic chained up and, you know, just there, and they're asking him questions and not so much torturing him, but kind of keeping him, you know how it is, you know, where's Eggman, you know, or all this stuff. No, I guess they already know where Eggman is, but like, you know, basically asking him questions. But no, all this really much winds up being is Sonic trying to extend an olive branch, trying to look at Metal Sonic and be like, listen, from here on in, Eggman's gone. We've repaired you enough that you can go out and live your own life. And he's like, you don't have to like me, we don't have to be buddies, you can go on the other side of the planet for all I care. I just, you know, truce, you know, basically, right? You don't have to like me, but hey, to a new beginning. And Metal Sonic just kind of, he has a moment where he looks at the hand and he's like, nah, F this, I'm out of here, and he just leaves. And I found that was really nice. That was a nice little character moment for Sonic. I'm gonna say this. This is basically the wrap-up for the Sonic Forces arc. After this book, everything Sonic Forces related, unless Infinite shows up later, again. This is pretty much the tie-up, the wrap-up for Sonic Forces. After this, Sonic Forces probably won't be referenced anymore, besides, like, the incident. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Because afterwards, you know, Tails is like, oh, you think it was alright for him to let him leave like that? And Sonic's like, don't worry about it, he'll be fine. Meanwhile, back at the base, or back at the evil lair where Dr. Star and Rough and Tumble are trying to get Eggman's memories back, apparently none of that torture stuff worked. Eggman is still Dr. Tinkerer as we know him. And basically, we get a little bit more of how Rough and Tumble got out of jail. Apparently, they made a deal with Dr. Starline, I hope I'm saying his name, Starline, right? Where they were like, okay, he busted them out of jail. They agreed to work with him so long as they got Eggman and his memories back so Eggman could build them being Rough and Tumble, new weapons to take on Sonic for their revenge. Because of what happened to them in issue number 3, was it? Issue number 3 or 4? I want to say it was 3. And Starline's like, don't worry, I'm going to get Eggman's memories back. Perhaps he needs some sort of, you know, interaction with something that will jumpstart his memory. Or Orbot and Cubot have a go at trying to jumpstart Eggman's memories again. And it's funny because they kind of reference like all the stuff that's happened in the past. Orbot is like, or Cubot's like, you know, you can insult us, boss, just like old times. You know, threaten us, you know, all the things you used to do. And then Orbot drops this line of like, or you can resurrect some sort of Eldritch abomination that you'll eventually lose control of. And of course, that is a reference to pretty much all the old school modern games, starting with Adventure, Adventure 1, Adventure 2, Unleashed, you know, where Eggman always resurrects these weird, strange old gods and stuff like that that wind up getting out of his control and Sonic has to wind up stopping. Even Solaris, I think, was a result. Kind of a result. Yeah, yeah, Mephiles the Dark and like Solaris and all that was a result of Eggman's meddling with all that stuff in '06, but that's not canon. Either way, it was a nice little throwaway joke there, but of course Dr. Tinkerer is like, why would I ever hurt you guys? You're great, I love you guys. But on that cue, Metal Sonic re-enters the stage, and he's busted up and beat up, and of course Dr. Tinkerer is like, I will fix this machine, right? You poor thing, I will fix you up. And as he goes to touch Metal Sonic's head, all the memories come back. He has like this flashback to all these memories he had with Metal Sonic, and one of these memories, I'm going to show it over here. It's really funny. It flashes to a flashback where he's like, let me read it. How dare that Sonic damage you? He wouldn't recognize a work of art if it punched him in the face. You did punch him in the face, right? You see Metal Sonic give like a thumbs up, and he's like, attaboy. And it's like, they kind of have like a father-son relationship. Where it's like, yeah, Metal Sonic technically is Eggman's best creation, even though it has turned on him. Excuse me, even though he has turned on him multiple times. For the most part, Metal Sonic is Eggman's greatest creation and basically his biggest asset. So Eggman, of course, after touching Metal Sonic and seeing all his memories, snaps out of it, is now back to himself. So finally, Eggman is back on the scene. That is the end of Dr. Tinkerer. He's like, why am I dressed up like this? What is all this? And Dr. Starline's like, finally, we got him back to normal. And Eggman's like, who are you? And he's like, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Starline. He says, and we get a little more backstory on him, that he is a deep admirer of Eggman's work. So he is a loyal follower to Eggman. And looks like he's going to be one of his greatest lackeys because he explains the whole situation to Eggman as Eggman starts repairing Metal Sonic. Starline is explaining to Eggman everything that has happened since then, how he got his, how he restored his memory, how he found him, all that, and introduces them to Rough and Tumble. He's like, these are your other associates that helped me break you out, or helped me get you back. Rough and Tumble, and of course Rough and Tumble doing their whole thing of their little, they say like, Team Rocket style, that's, you better be humbled, you're in the presence of Rough and Tumble, and they both kind of do that pose thing. And what looks like, one of them dabs, it's like, okay. And Eggman's unimpressed, he's like, who are these two idiots? And Starline's like, they're kind of like, they might be a good asset to you because they're dumb, but they also hate Sonic just as much as you, so we can use their hatred of Sonic to help us out in the long run. So Eggman now has kind of a crew now. He's got Metal Sonic up and running because he repairs Metal Sonic by the time these panels are done. Starline, who appears to be almost as smart as he is, and has a tool that we'll touch on in just a second, and Rough and Tumble, who might be the Scratch and Grounder, the new Scratch and Grounder, or, God, what are the name? Slade and Dingo from Sonic Underground, those two bumbling idiots. Looks like we have two new bumbling idiots besides Orbot and Cubot. Looks like Rough and Tumble are going to be Eggman's new bumbling idiots that go out, and they're basically the muscle for Eggman. They're going to go out there and mess stuff up. Dr. Starline reveals that he has something called the Warp Topaz. So now the Sonic gem lore is expanding. We have the Chaos Emeralds, we have the Master Emeralds, we have the Soul Emeralds, we have the Phantom Ruby, which we don't know what happened to at the end of Forces. Did it crack? Did it shatter? Did it vanish? We don't know. And now we have the Warp Topaz, which appears to be able to open let me read this. Can warp space to create gateways to other places provided it has a power source. And Eggman's like, you know what? I'm done messing with these weird new strange gems, the last one I had to run in with didn't work. And it's funny because it's like, oh yeah, the Phantom Ruby. We're once again referencing Forces. And Starline's like, don't worry, I have it covered. Here, and he reveals that he collected all 7 Chaos Emeralds and is giving them to Eggman. So Eggman not only has like a brand new crew, Orbot, Cubot, Rough Tumble, Dr. Starline, and Metal Sonic repaired under his control now, he now has all 7 Chaos Emeralds. Uh-oh, this is bad news for our heroes. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, yeah, during the part where Starline is explaining to Eggman everything that's happened, Rough and Tumble, they have this is one panel with a really funny face. Like, they have a really funny face, but Eggman says this throwaway line, of course, a reference to Forces. He says, you better not disappoint. The last group I hired didn't last long against Sonic and Shadow. That is a reference directly to Forces, who I'm assuming, I assume he's talking about the Jackal, was it Jackal Crew? The Jackal Force, whatever. The Force, basically the group of Jackals that he hired that, of course, had Infinite in them. But Shadow is hinted to have destroyed or killed them all, besides Infinite, who later went on to become the main bad guy of Sonic Forces. But that was a fun little reference there. Dark, but fun. Starline just shows how competent he is, and he might be a legit danger. We don't know if he can fight, but him with this Warp Topaz, he can appear at different places probably. He's going to be a threat. I'm calling that right now. He's going to be one of Eggman's most valuable assets along with Rough and Tumble and Metal Sonic. I'm liking the threat they're building up with Eggman's new crew. Shame we might not see them in the games. But anyway, afterwards we get Sonic checking in with everybody. Sonic checks in with Knuckles. Knuckles is, you know, chilling on top of the Master Emerald. He's gone back to protecting the Master Emerald. The thing I've been talking about the whole time while I was leader of the Resistance. You know, who's watching the Master Emerald, but I guess no one... I guess the Resistance was more important. Now that they have defeated the final Metal Sonic threat and Eggman is assumed safe now. They don't know that he's back, but they assume he's, you know, safe and, you know, everything's back to normal. Knuckles has now gone back to, oh, I'm gonna guard the Emerald now, and he's like, what about the? Sonic's like, what about the Resistance? And Knuckles like, consider it disbanded. I gotta protect this rock, man. It's important. Sonic's like, okay, fine, you know, whatever you say. And he's like, you know, if you ever get lonely, just let us know. And then he's like, yeah, whatever, Sonic. Whenever you come back, you're probably just gonna bring all your troubles here too. And Sonic's like, you're not wrong. Anyway, see you later. And then Knuckles is like, yeah, whatever, get off my island. And I was like, ah, yay, Knuckles back to his old, like, aloofish self. He's such a cool character, and I like that it looks like he's now going to be relegated to, like, guarding the Master Emerald, maybe popping up every now and then. There goes my phone ringing again. Just like always, either during a stream or whatever have you, my phone always rings. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Again, the phone. I don't know what's... Anyway, we see Sonic check in on Amy, and Amy is going through the supplies on the ship, this big battleship. Remember the battleship that Tails crashed into Metal Sonic in the last issue? They are all on the ship now, and Amy is going through the inventory on that ship. She's like, there's a whole bunch of stuff we can use for the Resistance to rebuild things back, you know, back on our planet. And Sonic's like, you know, okay, cool. So, yeah. And it's funny because she's like, yeah, Knuckles normally didn't like to do the inventory stuff, so I did it for him. And Sonic's like, yeah, about that. Knuckles kind of disbanded that. And Amy's like, what? And it's funny, he's like, yep. And then we see the Chaotix. This is what this comic mostly is. It's just everybody, we're checking in on everybody and seeing where they're at as far as the story goes right now. So it's kind of like a fun little issue if you just want to see, I wonder what happened to my character. It gets answered in this. The Chaotix pop in to talk to Sonic and Amy, mostly Amy. They're like, alright, the threat's gone, time to pay up. Where's the money? Where's the money? And Amy's like, what money? And it's funny, like, Sonic's like, I'll leave this to you, Amy, and he just kind of speeds off, leaving Amy to deal with the Chaotix, who probably want that paycheck. Not lastly, there's still more. Sonic checks in on Whisper and Tangle. Tangle, of course, being my new favorite character. Tangle's my girl, okay? I love Tangle. He's like, hey, ladies, ready to go home? And Tangle's, like, super excited. Of course, she has those very colorful, playful expressions. And she's like, you know, oh, this has been so much fun. It's great, you know. It's so hard to go back. I love being a Resistance member. And then Sonic's like, oh, okay, cool. What about you, Whisper? You meet any friends or anything? And then apparently Tangle and Whisper were talking before Sonic showed up. And Whisper even told Tangle a joke. Something about a toaster. And it's funny because she's like, oh yeah, Whisper told me a funny joke. Tell him about the toaster joke. And Whisper's kind of like, you know, doesn't say anything, just puts her mask on, and that's kind of it. I don't know if it's embarrassment or just like her being once again standoffish and aloofish. We'll never know. Whisper is one of the most ambiguous, like, mystery characters, like a mystery box of I don't know what the heck went on with this character, what her backstory is, but I want to know more. I just want to know more, and there's nothing that is explained sadly about that. But hey, at least we know that Whisper opened up a little bit to Tangle off off camera and was telling jokes and everything. So hey, Whisper and Tangle might actually form a decent friendship. There might be something there. Maybe Tangle's wacky, playful personality meshes well with Whisper's quiet, standoffish one. We don't know. So Sonic's like, okay, that's fine. I'll give Whisper her space. I'll go off and check on someone else. Which is, again, showing Sonic is being understanding. And this one, he's really just kind of... This is the Sonic I like portrayed. From helping out Metal Sonic, giving him a chance to have his own life, even though knowing that Metal Sonic can easily come back as a threat, and he will. It's just kind of the personality and character Sonic is, you know? So he goes finally to go check on Silver and Blaze, and you know, he's like, so guys, what's next for you? And Silver's like, I can't go back. My future, I have a feeling that the thing that caused my future, that destroyed my world, still hasn't been solved yet. And you know, and Blaze is like, well, I'll go back to my own dimension using the Soul Emeralds, but first I want to see everybody off. I want to make sure everybody gets to where they need to go. So Blaze and Silver are going to be around just a tiny bit longer before they go back to wherever. Blaze go back to the Soul Dimension and Silver goes back to his future. And I like that the comic even says, like, okay, Sonic even says, like, yeah, you can go back to your dimension if you want to, however you do it, Silver. Sonic then goes to Rouge after them. He's like, hey, Rouge, so... Oh, and we see Rouge lounging on a little beach chair on top of, like, the battleship. Just kind of like this. She's just kind of hanging out, has sunglasses on, and a little Eggman-themed beach chair. And he's like, so, where'd you find that? He's like... She's like, well, I found it inside the ship. I'm just relaxing right now. He's like, so what's next for you, Rouge? You gotta go back to spying? And she's like, oh, I'm a girl of many plans. You know, but for now, I'm just going to enjoy these sun rays and spying on a Master Emerald because she's looking over... I guess she's staring off into the distance and looking at Knuckles on the Master Emerald. Knuckles or the Master Emerald, or both. You never know which one has their eyes. She's very mysterious. And, yeah. Sonic's like, so I guess Shadow's not here either, huh? And she's like, yep, he's probably gone off. He's doing his own thing. And Sonic's like, well, tell Shadow thanks for me. Because I know you'll probably see him before I do. And Rouge is like, yeah, you know, whatever, I'll do that. And then finally, Sonic goes to check on his best bud Tails in the front of the ship, where they're now taking off. The battleship is now leaving Angel Island, and we see Knuckles standing on top of the Master Emerald, watching the ship take off, and that's it. We pretty much get our tie-up right there, and Sonic is kind of talking to Tails like, you know, this was fun. You know, I can't wait to see what our next what adventure awaits us in the horizon. And that's kind of where we leave off for all our heroes. That was pretty much it for the heroes. We just get to see everybody and where they're going to be and or what are their plans. Elsewhere, we finally have the last page ending with Eggman and Starline talking. And he's like, well, it's time for a change of pace. See, there's a bunch of like little Easter eggs in here that I probably skipped over. But like, there's a couple. He has a new plan and it shows... that he gave Rough and Tumble these, looks like plans for a new weapon, and these two idiots are like, what do you expect us to do with these? We can't do anything with these plans. And then Eggman, I guess, flips the plans or, you know, rearranges them upside down or something. You know, he gives the plans to different... Wait, he inverts the plans, takes the plans from both of them and flips it and gives them both to... Whatever, you guys get what I mean, right? And they're like, oh, I see, I understand. They're not smart. They're not very intelligent. But, so we see that Eggman is prepping some sort of weird-looking claw device. It looks like a probe that's gonna stick it to the planet. We don't know how big it is, but he says, "I've suffered quite the indignity during my last setback. Now the world will be made to suffer in return." And that is the last thing we know. And the tease is next time we're gonna see Sonic versus Rough and Tumble Round 2, which means Knuckles probably isn't gonna be there to assist him because Knuckles is back on Angel Island. And as we know, Sonic is going off probably to another adventure where he's going to encounter Rough and Tumble. This is a really, really good book. I like that this book is basically like like I said before, the tie-in, the final wrap-up for the Forces story arc. No more Forces. We're done with the Resistance. We're done with all that stuff. Knuckles disbanded the Resistance. Everything is back to the way it should be. Eggman is Eggman again, and he's back to his old tricks and about to start a new plan. So we're about to see... brand new adventures, brand new stories, everything, and hopefully reintroductions to old characters and new characters alike, like Omega, Cream, maybe Infinite returns at some point. We figure out what happened to him. Who knows at this point what they plan on doing, but I look forward to it. And you know, this issue really made me excited for issue 13. And I say that every time I get done with an issue. I'm like, I'm excited for what the next issue's about. But this one is really good. High recommendation for me to check this one out already. The only thing I can say I didn't really care for, and this is a nitpick, if anything, that the artwork was good, the writing was good. When will we know more about Whisper? When will we know more? I want to know more. When are we going to get some hints at it? What happened to her? What did Eggman do to her? What did Infinite possibly do to her? What did Shadow maybe do to her? What did everybody's saying, you know, they're predicting that maybe one of the Shadow clones, the Shadow Infinite illusions did something to her. Who knows? We'll never know unless they tell us, damn it. Give us some sort of hint, something, but that's a nitpick. Other than that, I will give this one a high 9 out of 10. I just enjoyed that, even though there wasn't any action in this really, I do enjoy the fact that we got to see a little bit more into the characters and what they plan on doing from here on in. And, you know, it looks like the Chaos is going to go back to being Chaotix, the detective agency, getting paid and all that. Amy's going to be in charge of the remaining repair stuff with the Resistance and everything. So, yeah, this is we're now past Sonic Forces. We are now onto the new arc, whatever that may be. Whatever this egg probe thing is, I want to see what that's all about. And, yeah, 9 out of 10. Really fun, really good read. Liked it a lot. Fun seeing the characters interact with one another, or rather Sonic interact with the others. And, yeah, that's going to be it for me. Tell me what you guys thought of this issue. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Or did you feel meh about it? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the Wear Reactions. More videos like this one if you haven't already. And next to that subscribe button, if you already have subscribed, be sure to hit the little bell icon. There's a little bell icon. It's the notification, so you can become part of a notification squad, I guess is what we're calling you guys. The people who know when the videos come out first, because sometimes YouTube doesn't tell you when videos come out. You have to now do the bell thing, I guess. And also be sure to follow me on Twitch. Werewolf Wolfie on Twitch. I stream there. I'm doing the Sonic Marathon right now. We're about to hit the Adventure Arc at the time of this recording. And the Super Smash Bros. Saturdays where I play Smash Bros. Ultimate on Switch with all of you, the viewers. That's right, you, and you, and you, and you, and you. You back there, you over there, everybody who has a Switch can hop in and play on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Central Daylight Time on Twitch TV/Werewolf Wolfie. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video, whenever that may be. So stay tuned.